Coming to you from the Lydia Media Studios in the heart of Lewiston, Auburn, Maine, it's Lydia's Lunch Bunch, LA's afternoon morning show with Mark and Pam. Sarah's off this week. She'll be back.
Still in Texas. Did you see her post?
No.
Oh, she was.
What's going on? She having some fun out there?
Yeah. She was at some really cool place. I forget the name of it now. It was too early, but she's having fun.
Yeah, we expected nothing less out of Sarah. Go to Texas and make her mark.
It's hard not to have fun in Texas.
We're covering news and events in the greater LA area and talking to the people making a difference in our community. Give us a listen at lydiamediallc.com or wherever you get your podcasts. And feel free to share your comments, questions, or suggestions via email at podcast@lydiamediallc.com.
Today's show is brought to you by UPI Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, serving residential and commercial customers with new installations and repairs. Call today and schedule your oil and gas boiler cleanings, 754-4556. UPI, the best plumbers around. And by Ruper's Beverage and Redemption. When it comes to weekend refreshments, don't botch it, squatch it, at 6 locations in Lewiston, Auburn, and Oxford. Learn more at rupersbeverage.com. And remember, the party starts at Ruper's.
Party started here yesterday.
It did. Did you have a little bit of a hard time? I wanted to take a nap the entire rest of the day yesterday.
We had our tasting tales, and we were drinking bourbon in the studio before 8 a.m.
Rough job we have over here.
It is.
As you can see, Lydia didn't make it in this morning. She needed a little more rest. But...
Yeah. She's like, Mom was weird yesterday. If you would like to be part of the Lydia's Lunch Bunch advertising family, reach out to Pam Ashby via email at pam@lydiamediallc.com. Our guests in studio this morning, we have a couple of Maine Nordiques as they are getting ready to hit home ice this weekend. Luke Chappelle and Hutch Rose joining us throughout the show today. Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. How's it going?
Excellent. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for getting up early, and happy birthday, Luke.
Thank you.
We might sing to you before the show's over.
Oh, that'd be great.
All right.
Sarah wasn't here. We need Sarah.
I know. If Sarah was here, she'd be singing right now.
Break out the ukulele and everything.
Before we talk all about the Nords and their home opener and what happened last weekend, let's take a look at the news for Wednesday, September the 18th.
The Sun-Journal reports that the state-mandated naloxone training will be soon offered at Lewiston Public Schools. Naloxone is a medication that can revive people who overdose on opioids. The mandate does not require students to participate, but the schools must offer the training.
Lewiston Public Works will begin work on Alfred A. Plord Parkway tomorrow. Work is scheduled from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and is expected to be completed by Monday.
The grand opening celebration ribbon cutting of Two Lights Auburn is scheduled for this afternoon at 2 p.m. at 120 Center Street, Suite 108, with an open house going on until 5 p.m. Two Lights Settlement Services provides everything you need to close on your home.
Norway Savings Bank recently donated $1,500 to the Community Little Theater. The bank has contributed over $11,000 to the theater in the past 5 years. CLT begins its 85th season with 1776 on October 25th.
Lewiston's new pickleball courts are scheduled to open next week. The city will host the inaugural pickleball tournament as part of the opening at 55 Temple Street on Thursday, September 26 at 11:30 a.m.
Today's weather, cloudy with highs in the 80s, cloudy tomorrow with highs in the mid-70s, and there's a chance of rain on Friday with a high of 70.
A chance of what?
Rain.
Oh.
Yeah, it's, that stuff that we had, I don't know, a month ago.
Can't remember the last time, but it's okay. The Red Sox lost to the Rays 8-3. They'll play again tonight at 7 p.m. in Tampa.
Abby Alter scored 2 goals to lead Bates College women's soccer over the University of New England 5-0. Bates field hockey will host Thomas College tonight at 7, and men's soccer will host the University of Southern Maine at 8.
Central Maine Community College women's soccer will host Southern Maine Community College today at 4 p.m. in Auburn.
The Patriots visit the New York Jets tomorrow on Thursday Night Football. Pats are so good they're putting them in prime time already.
I think that's the only prime time that they have
Probably.
this season.
Probably.
Did you see the game on Sunday?
I listened to it on the radio on the way home.
Yeah. We almost had it.
Yeah.
Almost doesn't count in football, though.
Not good. On the high school scoreboard in field hockey, it was Gray New Gloucester NYA over St. Dom's 3-2. Yarmouth beat Poland 5-1. In golf, Brunswick over Oxford Hills 7-2. Skowhegan over Edward Little 8.5 to 0.5.
Ouch.
Boys soccer, EL over Mount Ararat 1-0. Great New Gloucester beat Poland 5-1. Lewiston shut down Mount Blue 5-0. Levitt lost to Lincoln Academy 3-1. And Oxford Hills edged Skowhegan 3-2. In girls soccer, it was Great New Gloucester over Poland 6-1. Levitt lost to Lincoln Academy 5-2. Edward Little was shut down by Mount Ararat 7-1. Oxford Hills shut out by Skowhegan 2-0. And St. Dom's lost to Trape Academy 5-3. Right now, it is time for the podcast segment, Pam, that is
Sweeping.
You know it, the Twin Cities. It's time for famous people birthdays.
They're famous. It's their birthdays. It's famous people birthdays. It's famous people birthdays.
Let's take a look at FPBs for September the 18th, shall we?
We shall.
We shall. We're going to start off with comedian Jason Sudeikis. He's 49 today. He was in Saturday Night Live and also stars in Ted Lasso.
I never saw that one, but I've
Me
seen
neither.
We're the Millers, and that was hilarious.
Yes.
That was
He and Jennifer Aniston.
Yes.
Right? He was also in 30 Rock, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and provided some voiceover work for the Angry Birds movies. Jada Pinkett Smith is 53 today. She will not be starring in G.I. Jane 2.
Oh, no. Will's going to be mad at you.
Oh, come at me, Will. Come at me. She was on the sitcom A Different World in 1991. That was her big break. She also appeared in The Nutty Professor, Menace to Society.
She was the voice in Madagascar, the hippo.
She what? That's right. How do you think she liked that? It's like, Jada, here's your character.
I don't dare ask her.
All right. That's right. She'll sick Will on you. Actor and talk show host and comedian Aisha Tyler is 54 years old today. She voices a character in one of my favorite shows. It's an animated show called Archer. Anybody? No, you guys are way too young. She plays Lana Kane in Archer and does a bang-up job with that. She hosted Talk Soup, and she was on Friends. And let's see here. Holly Robinson Peete is 60 years old today. She was in 21 Jump Street.
Okay.
The original.
That's
with
what I figured,
Johnny Depp was in that, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, and Richard Grieco, and she was also in Hanging with Mr. Cooper, and is married to former NFL quarterback Rodney Peete. And rounding out FPBs for September the 18th is Frankie Avalon, who is 84 years old today. He had 31 charting U.S. Billboard singles from 1958 to 1962, but I think he's most well known for appearing in Grease.
Yeah. So I was going to say, he's not like, music was secondary for him. Like, he liked to act.
Yes, he did a lot of those beach party films like Beach Blanket Bingo or whatever they were back then.
Beach something.
Yeah. In 78, he appeared in Grease and sang Beauty School Dropout.
Oh, yes.
To the red-haired. What was her? I think it was Frenchie. I want to say it was Frenchie.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
You could be right.
Yeah,
You're probably right.
I don't know. My wife made me watch that like 5 times, so we'll go with it.
That's not considered a D movie for you?
No. Well, I would consider it a D movie, but she loves it. You have a bunch of 40, 50-year-olds pretending they're high school students. Pancake makeup can do wonders, I guess. Those are your FPBs for September the 18th. We are going to let you know that if you need a heat pump, you can check the cover. If you need auto repair, that's under the cover. Independent mortgage lender, that's out back. These are just a few of the resources you'll find in the September issue of Uncle Andy's Digest.
Out now.
Along with jokes, funny stories, news items, shout-outs, business spotlights, an events calendar, and advertiser directory, Uncle Andy's Digest is your guide to, well, just about anything. Find them online at uncleandys.com. Now we shift focus to our Maine Nordiques guests, Luke Chappelle and Hutch Rose, coming off a weekend in Maryland where you split with the Black Bears, took them to overtime in game 1, and then shut them out in game 2. Luke, how happy are you to be back on the ice?
Oh, it feels great. I've been waiting all summer, training and stuff, and it just feels so good to be back.
How old were you when you first put on skates?
2.
See, Pam? and you've been lacing them up ever since.
Yep,
The
ever
minute you
since.
could stably walk,
Yeah.
skates were put on his feet.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But so were your parents skaters, hockey players?
No, my dad was a football player, actually. Somehow I play hockey.
Is that a mystery? Like, how does a football player raise a hockey player?
I have no idea. I just happened.
That conversation hasn't happened yet.
That's something for another time. And Hutch, your first year with the Maine Nordiques.
Yes.
What was it like for you to take the ice last weekend against Maryland?
It was incredible. The game was a lot more physical. Feels like we have a really good team so far this year, and I loved playing out there. Obviously, those aren't our fans. Our fans are going to be a lot more rowdy, but it was great being in an atmosphere like that where after we shut them out, they were supposed to throw the fish when they scored the first goal of the game. We shut them out. They ended up throwing the fish down. It was nice seeing the fish come down like that at least once.
Nice.
What's the deal with the fish?
They have these stuffed animal fish. When they score the first goal of the game, all the fans throw them onto the ice. And we shut them out. So after the game, they had nothing to do with them. So they just sent them down flying on us.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, it was good. It was a good time.
You shut them out in
Love
more ways than one.
Yeah.
Hutch, how old were you when you first put on skates?
Funny story. So I was 5 years old, but my dad wanted to get me out earlier. This sporting goods store locally was going out of business. Everything was 50% off. My dad went in, bought all this gear, and I was like 3 years old, like hockey gear, football gear, soccer cleats, you name it. He brought all of it home and was getting ready to try and like get me out on the ice. And my mom and my grandmother who live with us were like, "You're forcing him. He's not allowed to get on the ice. Like, we don't want anything to happen to him." As soon as I hit 5, and my cousin Caleb started playing, I was able to get out on the ice, and I ended up convincing them. And then, funny enough, as soon as my brother hits 18 months old, he's on the ice. So,
Your brother got a head start.
yes, exactly.
That's right.
I would have loved that head start. Maybe I'd be a better skater.
You seem to be doing all right.
Luke Chappelle is number 43 in your program out of Trenton, Michigan. Defenseman, NHL fan. Do you follow the NHL?
Yeah, I'm a fan of the Detroit Red Wings.
And have been for all your life?
Yep.
And how about you, Hutch?
Yeah, I'm a fan of the Boston Bruins. Love them.
We'll get along fine. Hutch is number 39 in your program. He is a forward. And in the season opener with Maryland, Hutch collected 17 penalty minutes. I was doing a little bit of research last night. I mentioned that to my wife, who's a huge hockey fan. And she said, I already like him.
Yeah.
I like how you phrased that. He collected.
Yes.
Like, he embraces
He
them.
was rewarded with 17 penalty minutes. Hutch, how did all that happen?
Basically, I know my role is to go out there, play hard, and do what I need to do to protect the team. There's this guy playing cheap, and I didn't really like that too much. So we were going back a little back and forth. Ended up dropping the gloves. I was looking up at him. He's about 6'5", 220. And we exchanged 2 shots in the first one. He cut my lip a little bit. I was like, all right, here we go. And I quickly reloaded my right and sent him right to the ice.
Wow.
That'll get you a couple minutes.
That'll get you a couple, at least 17, I'm told. So,
Well, I ended up hitting, so that first one was 15. And then I ended up getting a boarding for 2 more. When I was leaving the bin, I told the guy, I was like, have a good night, sir. Like, thank you. Like when he was opening up the door. And then I ended up coming back. I'm like, hey, sorry, man. Like, I guess I'll have to say have a good night again.
So for folks listening now who may not be all too familiar with the sport of hockey, tell us what it means when you see another player being cheap.
It's just something you don't want to see. People are like, let's get rid of fighting. Fighting should never be like in hockey, which I understand. Like, it's dangerous and it's foreign to some people that don't understand it, but it really polices the game. When you have someone on your team that's tough or that can fight, or even someone who will just be willing to drop the gloves for another teammate, it really opens up the ice and steers away from someone getting boarded from behind and steers clear of all the cheap stuff, because they know they're going to have to answer the bell if they are playing the game the wrong way. So that's why it's such a big thing in hockey that people will drop the gloves so that they can steer clear of like all the bad things in the game.
I like how you mentioned players policing themselves. They're starting to eliminate fighting from hockey in some leagues now. I know the Quebec Major Junior League has cut it out completely.
Yeah.
Luke, what's your take on fighting in hockey?
I agree with Hutch. I think it's you're gonna need it in hockey, just because if not, there's gonna be cheap shots all around the ice, guys just running people. So you're gonna need someone to make sure that doesn't happen.
And there's no better way to get the fans out of their seats other than a goal, right?
Absolutely.
When you see a yard sale on the ice and you're like, oh, okay, things are getting exciting. Luke, what was your impression of the weekend, having been on the Nords last year, to go into Maryland and split with them, take them to overtime? Unfortunately, you guys didn't come out on the winning end, but you came back strong on Saturday.
I think this year we have a very solid team. We'll do very well. I honestly think we should have won both games, but sometimes it just doesn't fall your way.
Hutch, that was your first time on the ice with the Nords.
Yeah, first regular season game. We had I played in two preseason games against the Mountain Kings, but yeah, that was my first regular season NA game and with the Nords. So. And
tell us what you were doing last year.
Last year I was at Mount St. Charles Academy, a U18 program in Woonsocket, Rhode Island.
That's like a hockey factory, right?
Yeah, we've had 2 first overall picks. I couldn't even tell you how many actual NHL draft picks. Probably close to 100 Division I players have came out of there. We have another guy on our team, Ace Bond, who played there as well. It's hockey, and the people in Woonsocket just love it.
And how did you become a Nordique?
I played in that building when I was 14 years old, or maybe I was 15 years old. I know I was a freshman in high school. And then ever since then, I really was like, I love this place. I love this building. I want to come up here. Played against Nick Skurlik all throughout that 16s and then my 18s years. Knew him well. He ended up saying, hey, we want to get you up here next year, come to training camp. So that was just on my mind all summer, every single day. I want to make this team. Whether I was hitting the boxing bag, I was shooting pucks, stick handling, lifting weights. Ended up coming up here and making it through training camp. So I'm super happy to be here.
And you're an enforcer on the team? Is that your role?
that has become a little bit of my role. Hopefully I can get a couple goals in the net and really make some plays. But if I have to go out there and protect my teammates, I'll do whatever I have to do to stay on the team, stay out here and make sure my guys are protected and win hockey games.
As a mom, I wouldn't like that role for my child. I'd be like, what? Why do you have to be the one?
Yeah,
I'm sure mom has something to say about that.
Everyone in my family has something to say about it. But hey, I mean, I'm going out there to try and score goals. If something happens and I have to protect myself, I mean, at least I'm relatively equipped for that skill set, and I can try my best to do whatever I can.
Are you the one that makes the call if it's time to go out and drop the gloves, or do you get a tap on the shoulder from behind the bench?
Yeah, it's me. I'm making the call. I can see what's going on the ice and just really gather that energy. And it is my call, so I kind of have to read the building, read the situation.
Yeah. Luke Chappelle had a couple of assists last weekend.
Yep.
Right?
Couple clicks here.
Couple clicks, yeah. That's another thing we do with the Nords, Pam. We learn all this hockey terminology.
Got it.
And sometimes it changes and we can't keep up.
You got to let us know ahead of time.
Luke, you were part of the team last year. Can you talk a little bit about the game against New Hampshire after the mass shooting here in Lewiston? I was at that game, and I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. I've never felt anything more powerful in a sporting arena than what I felt that night.
All of us coming into the game obviously knew what happened, and we just wanted to put on a show for the people of Lewiston and just make sure everyone feels safe and at home again, because that was obviously a tough time. I feel like it was great for the community. Everyone seemed to have a good time. Everyone lined up in the center for the shooting and Kyle Secor. So I thought that was very nice.
And Kyle, who was a victim in the shooting, is now a coach for the NA3 team, which is pretty
Super
awesome.
cool.
We've got to get him on the show at some point.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
I'm curious, too, if you, being from Michigan and traveling pretty much your whole life, do you ever feel like part of the community that you're in?
Here's probably the first place I've definitely felt a part of the community for sure. Just the people here are just very they bring you in very peacefully, and they just love how you play and all that.
And you guys, I'm sure, have got to go out on a couple of occasions through events throughout the Lewiston Auburn area, like the film festivals and things like that, and meet members of the community. And
Yeah, we go to a lot of schools and stuff.
Yeah.
Meet all the kids.
Oh, the kids must love that.
Yeah, they do.
they post a lot of pictures on social, and you can see the kids
Yeah.
just in awe
Yes.
of these guys, especially when you guys walk in with your jerseys. And were you guys at the Bruins Fan Fest that they
Yep,
had?
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were.
What kind of reaction did you get there? It's tough to compete with the Bruins. I get that.
Yeah, when Monty came out, I was like, oh my gosh, I was looking up at him, and then it makes you realize kind of what the younger kids, how they look at us. It was a great event, and they had this big street hockey thing in the middle, and some of the guys got out there, and we played a little like 4-on-4 game, and you could see all the kids were standing around the arena watching, just in awe as we were just messing around, having a good time, but you can just tell how much it means to them that we're out there doing the same thing as them and just having fun, showing that we're smiling and just glad to be out there.
Let's talk a little bit about this coming weekend against New Jersey. Luke, what can you tell Hutch about what it's like to play in the Colisée?
It's unreal, and I'm sure opening night there'll be plenty of fans, and they'll all be rowdy and on their feet. Hopefully we can get the job done for sure.
We're usually pretty good at being rowdy.
That's right. We have some practice.
But that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
I assume it's funner when you have a rowdy crowd to play.
Oh, so much more
You don't
fun.
want us to be quiet.
Yeah. Be as loud as you can be.
All right.
Outside of the Colisée, Luke, what are some of your favorite venues to play in?
I like Johnstown's arena. They always have a good amount of fans, and they're pretty rowdy as well. Who else was good?
Am I correct in saying that Johnstown is the arena where Slapshot?
Yes, that's where it was
They
filmed.
have like a mini museum there for Slapshot, right? Have you seen that movie,
I
Pam?
have, yes.
Is
But
it one of
only
your-
because I was forced to watch it.
Like I was forced to watch Grease.
Yes.
I get it.
Yep. I didn't hate it. I mean, but
It's a lot of fun. That is a fun movie.
Yes.
My dad always rocks around in his Ogie Oglethorpe shirt.
It's great.
How many times have you seen the movie?
I think I've seen it maybe twice because I
Okay,
wasn't
just
allowed to
twice.
watch it growing up.
Yes,
But
that
my
makes
dad,
sense.
he loved to show me the clip of the national anthem. Like that was his favorite one, the warm up of the national anthem. That's always a good little watch.
And how about you, Hutch? Do you have a favorite arena outside of the Colisée?
Many guys hate it. I love playing at Mount St. Charles. Luke's shaking his head over
Nope.
here. It's a shoebox. It's about 80 feet wide compared to the normal 100-foot, and it's about 160 feet long. And there's basically no neutral zone. The boards are cement. It used to be chain link fence till about 5 years ago, but I don't know. There's something about all the history there that I love. I also love playing in college rinks too. Whenever you get an opportunity to play in a college rink, it always feels really cool. And ice is always good. And it seems like that's somewhere you just want to play as you get older, like a UMass Lowell or somewhere like that where I played growing up. It's awesome.
He likes playing in shoeboxes.
I know when he was describing it, I was like, you're not doing well convincing us that it's a great place to play.
No, that's what makes it
Cement
great, though.
walls, used to be chain link.
That's what makes it great, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not for the opponents.
Yeah.
No, I love those old venues too. I've never been to the venue you're describing, but like Fenway Park.
I was just
Yep.
going to say,
Yep.
it's like Fenway Park
Yeah,
is
it's-
kind of terrible, but
Yep.
it's the best place to
Yep.
watch a baseball game. Although I've never been to Wrigley Field, so
Yeah, Wrigley looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah.
mean, it's a good spot to watch a baseball game if you're like sitting behind a pole on the grandstand.
Exactly. Just don't sit in your seats. Go stand,
That's right.
one of the balconies with your $18 Bud Light. Not you guys. But
Let's talk about the best hockey movies ever made. Luke, we'll start with you.
Personally, I think it's Miracle on Ice. You just really can't go wrong with that one.
Yeah. Any particular favorite scenes in that movie for you?
Either when the coach is bagging them on the ice for hours, or in the locker room when he's giving his big speech before the game.
That'll get you fired up.
always
You've
the
seen that one.
speeches. Yes, I've seen that one.
Is that one better than Slapshot for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hutch, how about you?
Yeah, you can never go wrong with Slapshot. I mean, another good one. It's not really a hockey movie. It kind of like The Tooth Fairy.
Never saw it. No.
with Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Okay.
And, he was like a fighter, and he would knock people's teeth out. And they had like a recliner in the penalty box for him. And they'd be like, "Tooth Fairy, Tooth Fairy," when he'd go on the ice. And like he, I forget kind of what happened, but like he was almost like arrogant and stuff. So then he ended up getting like selected by the Tooth Fairy committee and like had these wings and stuff and had to go put the money under a pillow for the little kids and all that, which is.
Are you putting that
fun.
on your list, Mark, to watch?
Yes, I am. And I will also say we've been asking Nordiques players their favorite hockey movies for a couple of years
That's
now.
never come up?
Tooth Fairy.
I'm surprised.
The first time it's been mentioned.
But yeah, Miracle would definitely be my number one, though. I catch myself after working out or shooting pucks, like if I have a little time to rest, for some reason, it will always end up being Miracle. It's like, there's something about it. I love seeing him at training camp, and then Herb comes up over the top and he's like, "Those guys got off easy." This is going to be hardest 6 months of your life. Just something like that. Like that always fires me up. Or, "What are we playing? Throwaway game down in Rochester? Sweden in the Olympics." That always gets me fired up.
Not bad.
I know, it's pretty
Not
good.
bad. He's got a Herb Brooks down. He's got it down. I like it. That's commitment. We appreciate that on the show.
We do.
You got to commit. The Maine Nordiques against the New Jersey Titans this coming Friday and Saturday. Puck drop at 7:30 on Friday and 7 o'clock on Saturday. Get out there, support the Nords. It's going to be a great time at the Colisée. I've seen Pam there a bunch. I've seen you at the Colisée cheering on the Nords.
My boyfriend's a hockey player, so he actually this morning, he plays every Wednesday. He gets up at like 3:30 in the morning to
Oh my
get
goodness.
to he plays in Falmouth, I think. Their game starts at 5:30 in the morning, so he's a goalie. So
Talk about commitment.
Yeah.
yeah, and he's not a young buck anymore either.
So if you guys need a backup goalie, if you guys want to shoot some pucks at Pam's boyfriend.
He would love it. He would love that.
Hopefully he's taking Wednesdays off of work. That's an early wake up. I don't know.
No, he's hardcore. Although dinner comes on Wednesday night, and then he's like, "All right, I'm ready for bed."
Yeah. Hit the pillow. That's
Yeah,
it.
about 7:30, he's like, "Oh, I'm tired."
I wonder
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, early mornings, but I get it. It's die hard. When you're a hockey player, you live it. You eat, sleep, and breathe it. It's one of those sports that I think hockey players are ones that I've never seen so much dedication from,
Yeah.
really.
And I think too, and I'm not sure where this comes from, but I think out of all the sports, hockey players are the most humble.
I'd agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know where that comes from?
It's a team game, maybe. Like, like you're a part of a team and you need every guy to win. You can't go, if you go out there and score 3 goals, you still might lose 7-3 some nights. So it's not all just about you. And I don't know. I really don't know. It's kind of a culture we've built.
Yeah.
We've built a
We're all so
culture.
connected in the locker room and off the ice. Like, we're always hanging out off the ice. We're not just only hanging out in the hockey rink. We're all doing stuff after, going to eat, whatever.
And like you guys were saying, how dedicated like hockey players are. I've played many sports in my life, in my career path, but there's something about like you have so many different jobs. So you need to be a good skater forwards, good skater backwards, move side to side well, be able to shoot pucks, pass pucks, scan the ice while skating, be able to shoot like there's just so many different things that really makes hockey. Even some guys have to learn how to box on ice. You know what I mean? So
Some guys.
yeah,
Like Hutch.
it really it really is a game that takes a lot of practice, a lot of skill. Like you can't just get out there and get on the ice. You really need to be dedicated and put in the work to be a good hockey player.
Now let's talk about the boxing training a little bit. Is that something you've been through?
Yes. So my dad, he was a real tough guy growing up, and he showed me how to hit the bag. Worked on it all summer with him, grappled with him. My uncle David, 4th degree black belt. I went over his house, hit the bag. I sparred with my cousin Caleb. I was coming off a little bit of an injury this summer, so I was supposed to get up to Mark DeLuca's gym up in Boston. Everybody fights. I went in there. They have some pro guys up there, and I was just up there watching what they do, really studying, seeing how they hit the bag. But I was at this summer, I was just drilling the bag and kind of working on my grabbing. I let my brother hit me in the face a couple times while I tried to steer him away, just learn how to play defense. But yeah, every day I'd end my workouts. I'd just drill the bag, drill the speed bag, do, and just make sure I'm ready for whatever comes my way.
You let your brother hit you in the face a couple times. Older brother, younger brother?
Younger brother, really good player. He's at Long Island Gulls, but he's about 5'10", but he's only about $150, and I would just kind of do-si-do him around the ice and just like swing him around, but I let him kind of hit me a couple times, so I feel obviously it's not the same, but just so I kind of know the distance of like someone. And on the ice, it's a lot different than you're here throwing off the ice, but on the ice, it's grabbing, it's pulling. There's a lot of technique. You could just play defense, jab with the jersey, or pull him in, come over the top. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it.
Would your brother disagree with you that you let him hit you?
No, I think he knows better. I remember I was just doing free skate, and my dad's like, just let him hit you a couple times. Like, so we're a little hardcore over at my house, but we have a lot of fun. And I was always brought up in kind of like, it's not a violent way at all, but just learn how to use your hands, because if there's ever altercation that you get in, you need to be able to protect yourself. So my dad, from a young age, always taught me how to protect myself. The most important thing was always defense, though. How to shoulder roll, how to get out of the way, how to slip, and then the hands will come after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
there's a whole lot more to it than just
A lot more. There's no other sport where you need to practice boxing as well as your sport.
That's true.
Not that I can think of anyway.
Luke, you ever throw the gloves?
Yeah, I got in 2 fights last year, and I somehow end up fighting like the biggest guy on both teams.
It's usually the way it goes.
Yeah. I did pretty good, I would say. First one, I would say I definitely won. And then second was about 60-50 or 60-40.
The bigger guys don't move as quick, so there's some advantage to not being the biggest.
I'm a lefty, so they don't see the lefty.
Aha.
Yeah.
It's like Rocky, Southpaw.
I think he's being humble, though. I've heard from a couple guys that chaps can chuck him. So.
Yeah. Chaps can chuck 'em,
Chaps
Pam.
can chuck 'em.
We're going to make a
Got
note of
it.
that. You guys, you leave Maryland after a 4-0 win on Saturday. Long bus ride home. What has the week been like for you so far, and what do you have to look forward to until Friday night?
Right now we're just practicing, getting ready for Jersey. Not too hard, just making sure we're still keeping in it and just preparing for what they're going to bring to us and watching film and all that, and just ready for Friday.
Are you up early every day? Are you at the rink? What's happening?
Practice is normally, we got to be there at like 10, so we got to wait. I wake up around 9:15, so...
So not too bad.
He was up early this morning.
Yeah.
Yep.
Today's the earliest I've been up in a while.
But it's your birthday, so you want to be awake for it.
Yeah.
Extend the day, for the birthday.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm up around 7:30. I try and get up. I'll have either an apple or a banana with a protein bar, try and get some Gatorade in, or some water, just some fluids. And then I try and get to the rink a little early. I need to work on some more things than other guys, so I'll go in the shooting area and just try and stick handle some pucks to get my hands warm. Because at the end of the day, I still want to score goals, right? So I'm trying my best there. But the best thing, honestly, about the road trip, we got off the ice at 10:30, and it was 10 hours straight home. Honestly, those are bus rides. Those are some of the best memories in hockey. Like, it sounds cliche, but really, like, when you're not playing hockey in the summer, like, you miss being in the locker room, sitting there with your friends, talking, just marinating in your gear after practice. Like, it's just such a good time.
Doesn't
The
sound like
smell of hockey gear and talking about marinating in it. You go ahead and do that.
I didn't know Kevin played hockey, so you have firsthand experience with this, especially goalie gear.
Oh, God, does it smell? It never goes away. There's nothing you can do about it either.
Yeah, no.
It's very hard.
You guys have to be immune to it now, right?
yeah,
you
definitely.
just-
I think you begin to love the smell of it because it
I mean, I don't think we love it.
Hutch, how do you pass the time on the bus?
I'm a big jokester. I love joking around, but this past week I ended up running the Instagram, so that kept me busy. I was answering questions from the Nordiques Nation, but I just love talking to my buddies and just like making people laugh, telling good stories. Like, we had this guy, Nick Hubbard. He told a great story. Everyone was laughing. We just had a lot of fun. So much fun.
And Luke?
I like to just play on my phone or either play cards with the boys. anything to pass time.
10 hours, long ride.
Yeah.
You gotta have a plan.
You need a quick nap in there too.
Yeah,
honestly.
you always need a nap.
It just deletes a couple hours off your clock.
Now, Hutch, when you say you like to joke, are you like a practical joker? Are you pissing people off with your jokes, or what's happening?
No, it's more just kind of like snapping around like us here. Like I just like, you get a conversation going and then you just start like picking things off, just trying to make people laugh, telling good stories from back in the day. In Nick's story, he told about how they were in the New England playoff semifinal, and it's bases loaded, and it's 1-1 at the bottom of the eighth, so extra innings. They bring him in to pitch. There's no outs, and he hangs a curveball, 450 dead center to Tennessee Tech commit, or Virginia Tech commit, I think it was. And he was like, I just walked up the field as soon as I hit the bat. He knew it was gone. We were all cracking up. That was a good one.
We have, I got a couple of quick questions for you guys, and then we're going to get into our 3 random questions that have absolutely nothing to do with hockey. Hutch, we'll start with you. Give us your favorite memory on the ice.
I would have to say playing at Boston Hockey Academy and going into Mount St. Charles with our goalie Carter Richardson. He's a Maine Nordiques guy. We went in there and we swept them, and they were a top 10 team in the country, and we shouldn't have beat them. And that was just an incredible memory for me, because I just remember we were not expected to beat them at all. We went in their house, won the first game 1-0, and then won the second game 3-2 in overtime. And Carter probably faced 75 shots with 2 goals let in on the weekend. It was incredible.
Wow. Luke.
I'd have to say winning the Michigan State tournament. For like 4 years, we always lose in the finals, and then we finally won. And then for the next like 3 years, we just kept winning. So we just had to get over that hump.
I just want to mention, too, like what I said earlier about hockey players being the most humble. Both of the memories that you guys shared had very little to do with you as individuals.
Yeah.
It was we. It was
Yeah.
we. It was the team.
Yeah.
That says a lot about you guys and the sport.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have any pre-game rituals?
I always pray. I'm a devoted Christian. I always pray. That's definitely a big ritual for myself, but hockey guys are extremely superstitious. I try and tuck my sock the same way. I put my left skate on, my right skate on. I put my left shin pad on before my right shin pad, left elbow, right, everything the same. Try and like tape my stick exactly the same. It's all like same thing in warm-ups. Like I always try and keep it the same. I mean, I don't have a crazy superstition, but I just try and do everything the same. And it's always left to right is how I get my gear on.
Similar to Hutch, but I'm always right to left. So you just get like a routine going, and then you kind of just like stick with it, and then it just helps you and it works out.
Now, what if you're in a slump or something? Do you change anything?
Me personally, I don't. I just that's not determining if I'm playing good or not. It's me.
At least you think like that. No, I change everything up.
You?
Yeah, tape job, you warm up, you name it. I try and keep it the same, but once something starts going wrong, I change my tape job like 4 times this summer. I mean, I'm like, hey, maybe it's not the tape job at this point. I'm just starting to notice that on air, but you know what? Hey, whatever makes me feel good. I'm just trying my best out here. That's all I can do.
Right on. One more question for you, Luke. As Hutch is a first-year player coming in, how do the Nordiques welcome new players?
I feel like we are very welcoming to new players. It's just like they're gonna be on our team, so you might as well be nice to them and stuff. And obviously, we love all the new guys and stuff. They're a blast.
Because I think the hazing is being phased out, right?
Yeah,
Hazing
no.
was a big thing back in. I don't know if it was
None
big
of
in
that
hockey.
happens over where we are.
So you just open arms, come on in, you're
Yep.
part of the team.
Pretty much.
All right. We're going to close the show with a little segment we like to call 3 random questions. Let's see here. All right. If you guys could have a superpower, what would it be?
I've always wanted to just like be able to fly for some reason. Just get up and fly.
Make getting from one place to another way easier.
Wouldn't it be great to like fly to Maryland
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
and just wave to the bus as you go by?
I don't even want to fly anymore. I just want the Star Trek where they just beam me up,
teleporting.
Scotty.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
that would
even
be
better.
great.
0 effort.
I have 2 superpowers. My first one, I'd want to be a good skater. But that'd be a nice superpower to have, just like so I could be smooth one time in my life. But If not, like, funny enough, I would want to be like the peace man. Like, I would want to make sure like everyone is at peace and everyone can just like be safe and like feel loved and stuff.
That's a good
That's a
one.
tremendous superpower.
Yeah.
All right, Pam, you got one?
What TV series could you watch over and over again?
I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. My girlfriend and I have like just binged that this summer. Like at the very end of the day, when it's about 7:30, worked out, skated everything, she finally gets a little time at the end of the day, and could sit down and watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Just every single episode is just awesome.
I don't watch much TV, but I have been watching Suits a little bit. It's very interesting, and I
did watch that series.
Funny enough, if you have like TikTok or YouTube Shorts, it almost feels like you've watched some of these series.
Yeah, you watched the
forever.
whole like series.
Yeah.
Hutch, what's on your playlist?
Oh my goodness, my playlist.
Give us like 3 or 4 bands.
Okay, I could give you like songs. Like I got songs and I have like 20 different genres. Like I have this song that I heard at Mass, Gift of Finest Wheat, really calms me down. I like Waiting on the World to Change, really good tune. And then something that will get me jazzed up, like just something AC/DC just gets me ready to just bang my head off the wall, ready to go.
Right on. There's a lot of leeway there.
Yeah.
There is a lot. I feel like AC/DC is definitely a locker room before the game.
Yes,
kinda.
absolutely. All right, Luke.
I always, in the morning, I love listening to either Zach Bryan or Morgan Wallen, and then later in the day, once I start waking up more, it's more rap, like Drake and all that.
Pam, the second time this week.
No
This hardly
way.
ever happens, you
What?
guys, but I'm hearing from the producers. Your answers are so good, you guys get a bonus question.
Nice.
For
Bonus
3 random, like this hardly ever happens. Pam, this is amazing.
Hardly ever.
All right. So one more question for our Maine Nordiques, Hutch and Luke. Luke, what was your favorite toy growing up?
Favorite toy? I had like a little Escalade that I would just like ride around my street thinking I was the man.
He was the big kid in town on his Escalade. I love it.
Battery powered toy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I had a whole arsenal actually. I had a Mustang, I had an Escalade, a motorcycle.
Wow. Impressive. All the girls on the street.
That's right. I see Luke driving by. All right, Hutch, favorite toy growing up?
So I got 2. One, my grandparents pulled in the driveway one day. I was about 4 years old. All of a sudden, they load this John Deere right out of the back. My family, we live in the middle of the woods, basically, in Duxbury. And my dad drives around this John Deere that was given to him from my grandfather. And they ended up bringing me a little John Deere. I had like the back of it. I could press the buttons. It would like deload the dirt and everything. And I loved that thing. It was awesome. And then for my second one, which obviously it's not a toy, but my siblings, they're something I can always just hang out with. I love them. Funny enough, my oldest sister, who's younger than me, but she's the oldest out of the 4, her and I and my brother, we asked for my little sister for Christmas. And then my mom ended up getting pregnant. Santa came through, big Christmas present. But those, even when I don't have toys, like those are people just I love to always hang out with, like my brother and my sisters. Like they're just amazing people.
We know them as hockey players, but there's so much more, and that's why we love doing this. We love these segments with our Maine Nordiques, and it makes them a lot easier to cheer for. Doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yes.
Head to the Colisée this weekend, everybody. 7:30 puck drop on Friday and 7 o'clock on Saturday as our Maine Nordiques take on the stinking New Jersey Titans. Luke Chappelle, Hutch Rose, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Yep, thank you.
And best of luck this weekend. Go to MaineNordiques.com to get your tickets, and we will see you at the Colisée this weekend. Have yourselves a great Wednesday. We'll catch you tomorrow.
The smell of hockey gear and talking about marinating in it. You go ahead and do that.